Have you been Bible belted? You know, someone belts you with the Bible by passing laws against your basic human rights because of things their religion forbids them to do? In the past, the righteous belted the targeted sinners because they loved those sinners and wanted to save them. Today, they belt in the name of religious freedom, theirs, not yours. They are abusing people with an ancient law plucked from amid hundreds of laws that they violate every day. Why are they wrong and wrong again? First, they are wrong to pick just the Bible verses that support their own prejudices from among hundreds of laws, most of which they ignore. Can you do that with laws? Just pick the one that you want and ignore all the rest? Picture being pulled over going 100 miles an hour in a school zone with a BAC of 0.3 in a stolen car. And you tell the cop, "Sorry, officer, I do not subscribe to all of your laws, but I do strictly adhere to the law that requires the driver to wear shoes." If you obey the laws of the land or the laws of your religion, you obey all of them. Bible belters are wrong because they are quoting 2 verses from the Bible books of Moses, but gleefully disobeying almost all the rest. How many of the laws of Moses did they select from? 613 laws are given in the Old Testament. Let's look at all 613, because if any of these laws are important to you, they all are. Here's one that says you must pay the priest, but not with money you got from your job as a whore or from selling a dog. 1/3 of these laws are about archaic worship practices, none of which would be familiar to today's Christians. Many laws are about what the priest will wear, including bells and pomegranates swinging from the hem of his skirt, which is worn over a curious girdle. There are laws that he must be good-looking, with a nice straight nose, and be in possession of fully functioning gonads. We see many laws about how you will kill your sacrificial animals on the tabernacle steps, an act central to the religion of the Old Testament. And yet, these Bible belters have never done a blood sacrifice with so much as a kitten for their sins. A man was brought to Moses for picking up sticks. Moses ran it by God, who ordered the man killed. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention he picked up the sticks on Saturday, Sabbath, the day of rest. Keeping the Sabbath means no work of any kind on Saturday. It is the foundation of the laws given by God to Adam, then carved in stone as one of the 10 Commandments. This means if you keep the laws of Moses, you are to be put to death for making toast on Saturday. Still, the people who belt others with that one law they like mow their lawns on Saturday. Many of the laws are about owning slaves, often referenced by conservatives in their fight against civil rights. There are enough laws about a woman's role as breeding stock, property of her father and then her husband, to fill a Gloria Steinem book. And look at the ones about traditional marriage, allowing polygamy and marriage to a girl at any age, a business arrangement between the girl's father and groom, which, by the way, does not require her consent. Traditionally, a man may have his wife stoned if she fails the test to prove her fidelity by drinking water mixed with dust from the bloody tabernacle floor. All of this gets much more ink than the 2 verses that forbid man to lie with man. And we're not talking about yoga. Here are the 2 lonely verses aimed at Adam and Steve. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. in Leviticus and repeated in Deuteronomy. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. My research partners and I, Google and Vodka, searched for a law that had the same number of verses, 2, and was just as prominently featured as the Adam and Steve law. And we found this law that says, if you get a little ass, you must pay the priest. It commands that if your ass gives birth to a colt, you must kill a lamb as an offering. If you don't, you are required to break the neck of your little ass. Remember, this law is just as important as the Adam and Steve law. We have all the laws written about LGBTQ. This won't take long. The L for lesbian gets nada, nothing. No lesbian acts forbidden in the Bible. The G for gay gets those 2 verses. Not as important as the dozens of verses about how the priest must burn the fat and kidneys of the animal sacrifices, but still, it's not nothing. B does get nothing. Trans people who are being brutally belted as if they are breaking someone's religious law are not acting against the laws of Moses. Turns out, Moses doesn't give a shit where trans people shit. Nothing about genderqueer or any other queer, though some of the instructions about the priest might seem a wee bit queer. Hard to tell. Let's look at what life would be like if the people who want you to live by the laws of Moses actually did live by them. Of course, they would be put to death immediately if they're a man having sex with a man, or if they make toast on Saturday. Equally abominable. For non-death penalty sin, they will take a live animal to the steps of the tabernacle, slit its throat, give it to the priest with cash or credit card. They'll repeat this each time they commit a sin, unless the sin requires us to kill them. None of this confession of sins, say a Hail Mary, light a candle. You don't just bow your head and ask for forgiveness of sins. If you submit to the laws of the Old Testament, you keep them all. And what a rollicking good time that will be. If you're considering having sex with another man's wife, understand that sin carries the death penalty, just the same as if you raped another man's wife, both because you violated the rights of the husband. If you instead chose to rape a 10-year-old virgin, we wouldn't have to kill you. That sin is not as bad. Yes, you violated the rights of the child's father, a sin you must pay for. That price being 50 shekels, which was real money back then, paid to the injured party, her father. And there you've made a traditional marriage. As a special gift to the raped virgin, maybe compensation for the not-so-romantic courtship, you will never be allowed to divorce her. Lucky girl. What does the Bible say about sex with children? There is no law forbidding sex with children. You might think that while they're writing laws about the correct burning of sacrificial kidneys, they might throw in a law that says no sex with children. But no, it's not a sin. Ironically, when Bible belters claim the need to protect children from sex with adults, they are departing from biblical law, as all the laws about this are secular laws, passed by liberals who struggled against those archaic laws to pass laws protecting the rights of children, women, and in another century, former slaves. Should these biblical laws become laws of our country? They have shared origins with Sharia law and are just as misogynistic, homophobic, and violent. Why do they fear these laws when another religion imposes them, but want to pass similar laws from a religion that is not their religion? And this is the second way they are wrong, claiming teachings that are not part of their religion. Christians don't study or live by the laws of Buddha or Muhammad because they're not Buddhists or Muslims. Yet, some dig into ancient Judaic law, which few Jews keep today, to find two little verses of laws that were never part of Christianity. Jesus said he came to free his followers from the law. Is his payment not good enough for them? This is not their religion. If they want it to be their religion, they will have some serious lifestyle changes. Perhaps they don't mind the law that forbids eating owl or eagle. They might miss lobster, or that most perfect of food groups, bacon. The more liberal among them will wince at having to put their children to death for cursing a parent, but the law's the law. How about that one that says you must be put to death for using God's name as a curse? I hate that goddamn law. They will return to the days of putting a woman to death for lying about being a virgin, in which all the men of the city shall stone her, a requirement that will create havoc in major cities. And the ultimate, not tonight, dear, the law that says both must die for having sex during a woman's fountain of blood. They will bring back the law requiring us to kill the daughter of a priest who becomes a whore. Not a gentle death by stoning, but death by fire. Easy enough, just dip her in oil and toss her on the campfire. You can see these laws came from a loving God. I say, if you are going to commit an abomination, I'm sure you can find one a lot more fun than picking up sticks on Saturday. My favorite abomination is lobster. Dipping it in drawn butter with that tiny fork, it's to die for. 3-second rule, didn't mean it. If you want to live under these laws, you are in for a penny, in for a pound. Live under the law, all of it, or move on and live under the grace of the New Testament as Christians are commanded to do. I shall not live under these laws, nor impose them on others. Still, I will never pick up sticks on Saturday. I get my nails done on Saturday, and to ruin a fresh manicure, now that would be an abomination.